Hi everybody. Today hopefully we're going to finish off this Sikha. We're in the royal words. You can find the website, and if you look in the website there, you can download these books. You find it in the description. So you can go to Mashiach Info or something. You have to check it up. Right now we're on the first book of Shemos. In the first book, Shemos is in 2 books. And we're on the Sikha that starts, where does it start? Hold on a second. The Sikha says, from the talks of Thursday and the week of Beshalach, the 11th of Shevat. So this is like around the Rebbe's birthday, the Rebbe spoke this. And I'm not on the Rebbe, the 11th of Shevat is when the Rebbe took on it took on to be the Rebbe, and we became the Rebbe, and we actually took it on in a complete way. And the talks is also in the talks. The Shabbos afterwards is Torah's portion Beshalach, Shabbos Shir, which is on the 13th of Shvat, 5752. This was translated from Hebrew. This talk starts on page 64. We ourselves on Baruch Hashem on page 93. We're on Numbers chapter 7. So the main thing we're talking about is the whole idea of all what we've been talking about last several lessons is talking about the revelation, how God is totally revealed down into this world. The highest revelations of Hashem is revealed in this world in a way that was never revealed before. And that's because from our avoda that we've done, because first of all Hashem gave us a special power that we're part of Hashem Himself, and that we have the capability to do. He gives the capability to us to be able to do insurmountable things that a person can't do. And there's insurmountable things that come down in the world, and to refine the worlds and to reveal the sparks of that they should go back to their source in holiness. And therefore they reveal in the world in a good way more holiness, more spirituality. So that's what we're talking about, and we're explaining about. There's the idea from 10, which is the completion, which has to do with 10 spheres, it has to do with the completion of the world as itself. Like a man, he's completely healthy. It's 10 spheres, everything's complete. And there's no problems, everything's refined, it's a complete vessel. And then there's the level 11, which is the level of Hashem, how he's totally beyond the world and above the world, and not be able to reveal in the world in a normal way. But since we have this, we've done this avoda, we're able to make this miracle happen with Hashem. That Hashem, the levels of godliness that's totally beyond any type of revelation, even up to the level of God Himself, is going to be revealed now in the world in a way that the world can stay in existence and will be in existence, and that the world at that point will also have this level of 11. And the Rebbe explains more in other places also. We see further on when we learn the next Sikha that there's also a level of 22. But we'll go into that another time. But right now we're dealing with the level of 11. So based on the above spoken, we may explain also the connection of Torah's portions Beshalach and Yisro to the content of the time in which we reread the Torah portion close to the 10th of Shevat. So therefore, before we talked about how we had Beshalach and Yisro, these 2 Parshas had to do partial preparation for giving the Torah. Now we're going to have to understand that these 2 Parshas, Beshalach and Yisro, that the 10th of Shevat came out on Wednesday before Beshalach, which is the Shabbos Shira. So therefore, we can see that the completion of the week is completed in Beshalach. And as the Rebbe always points out, that each Shabbos has two parshas. That's the parsha that we read, that the whole portion in the morning, and the parsha that we read the first section of it in the afternoon, which is Yisro. So therefore, there's a specialness of that Beshalach and Yisro has a specialness to this week, and they have a specialness to the 10th of the Shvat. The month of Shvat is the 11th month counting from Nisan. The 11th month, the month of Shevat, it says, this is what it says in Zechariah, which is especially related to true and complete redemption. Look down at number 111 note. As is alluded to the name of Shevat, which the term Shevat is staff of sovereignty, the kingdom of the Davidic dynasty. In other words, this is the idea of rulership, the staff of rulership. And then it says, okay, so the month of Shevat is the 11th month counting from Nisan. The 11th month, the month of Shevat, which has to do with rulership that we just said, which is especially related to true and complete redemption. Since in the redemption there will be the revelation of the level of 11. You are one, which therefore, this high level of God is totally beyond the world is revealed, which therefore from the month of Shevat we come to the month of Adar, in which to transpire the redemption from Purim, a redemption in a state of we are still service al Chashverosh, and the redemption is next to the redemption. In other words, there was one great redemption happened in Purim, and then there's another great redemption which we're going to be redeemed from the final redemption, like we redeemed in Nisan from Mitzrayim. So it says, and the redemption is next to redemption. That means Purim to Pesach, in the month of Nisan, in which the Jewish people were redeemed from Egypt. And in it, they will be redeemed in the future. That says that we're going to be redeemed in Nisan. That's the most special time, as the verse says. Just as in the days you left the land of Egypt, I will show them wonders and the ultimate redemption. So now we have the 11th month, goes into the 12th month. The 12th month, we have needing of redemption from Purim. Look at footnote number 113. It says that it says a redemption Purim, that we are still servants of Achashverosh. Moreover, 113, Purim is also connected, this is on page 194. Moreover, Purim is also connected with the ultimate redemption, since it will be significant even in the days of Mashiach. As the verse says, and these days of Purim will never terminate from the Jewish people, and its remembrance will not cease from their descendants. In other words, the special revelations that happen on Purim will still be important in the times of Mashiach, and other of the holidays won't be. So it says that that's how high Purim is, and from this high level of redemption, but we still wasn't a complete redemption, we go to the next redemption. From Purim to Pesach, I'm just reading over again. In the month of Nisan, in which the Jewish people were redeemed from Egypt, as in it they will be redeemed in the future redemption. As the verse says, just as the days you left the land of Israel, I shall show you wonders in the ultimate redemption. So therefore, it all has to do with levels of redemption, from one redemption to another, from the 11th month to the 12th month, and then to the month of redemption from Egypt. In the month of Shevat, the 11th month itself, we proceed from the 10th day to the 11th day. 11 days from Korb, within 11. So therefore, 11 is even more emphasized. So Rebbe is going to go talk more about this. We may add, Rebbe explained some new things, and explain the advantage of the addition. We may add and explain the advantage and the addition of the 11th day over the entire month being the 11th month. So there's a special thing of day over month. What is it? The level of 11, remember that's the level of Hashem is totally beyond the worlds, is openly revealed characteristic of the day, the 11th day, denoting the light in Revelation. The verse says Hashem called light day. In other words, the Rebbe is explaining over here that the whole idea of 11 has to do with the revelation of Hashem, with revelation of godliness. And this high-level revelation, when you're talking about day, the day thing is revelation. The idea from day is everything's revealed. So therefore, you have this high-level revelation of godliness that says, above being revealed in the world is revealed like the light of day. And then you have that's one thing. The day has to do with revelations. The 11th day is special. And the difference between month and day is that the month is connected with the orbit of the moon, and the day is connected with the orbit of the sun. Okay, so it's connected with the orbit of the sun. And from this, it is understood that in correlation with the above, what's explained in chapter 4, that the 11th month denotes the revelation of the level of 11, as is drawn down and revealed to the recipient. That's the idea from the month. And the moon receives light from the sun. So it's the idea of the recipients. And we're talking about the 11th month. It's how God reveals this level of above the world, into the recipient, into us, how we receive it. And the moon, which receives it, it represents the moon, which receives from the sun. The 11th day denotes the level of 11 as it is by the giver, by Hashem, symbolizing by the sun. The level of 11 is pure state. Another 11 by day is how Hashem is revealing the level of godliness, totally revealed. And there's no hidden with this. And that means that it's more of a pure state. And from the 11th day in the 11th month, we proceed to Echad, 13th day, which was Shabbos, which means one, with an additional emphasis in that now Echad, is in Hebrew, Aleph has Dal, which means one, which is the same number, it equals the numerical value of 13. So that's like the 13th day. The Shabbos is the 13th day of the week with Shabbos. That has to do with Echad. We're talking about the oneness of Hashem and how it's revealed in the world and how everything's nullified and becomes part of one. And with the addition, emphasis in correlation with the calendar layout of this year, when the Rebbe was this year when the Rebbe's talking here, that the 13th day of the month occurs on the holy day of Shabbos, which immediately follows by the first day of the week. So first, the Shabbos is the 13th, has to do with one. Then it's followed by day one. In regards to 6 days of creation, since Hashem was at that time the only one in the world. When Hashem created the world, He was the only one, which denotes the revelation of the level of you are one also in the world. Because in that Hashem was revealed in the world, He was one in the world. He was also bringing down Hashem into the world. So therefore you have 11 has to do with the level of Hashem, how it's beyond everything. 12, we explained in another place, has how it goes down. It's following has to do with the level of look at 119, following the preference on the 12th day. The 12th day, so we have 11. The 12th of the 11th month, which alludes to the revelation of this level of 11 in all the 12 tribes, Shevat. So therefore, then 13 has to do revelation of the unity of Hashem, the oneness of God. And following by Sunday right away after that, which is the 14th of the month, has to do also with how God was only one, because it's the first day of creation. And in the following days of the month, the 14th day, followed by the 15th, which alludes to what is written at the conclusion of the Parsha. If we read at the end of Parshas Beshalach, it talks about the destruction of Amalek, and it says Hashem is going to raise up His hand and swear on His throne we should obliterate Amalek. This is an oath for Hashem. And when this is done, so therefore, we said before, this is a preparation for the final revelation of the Yud Aleph. So let's see this inside. And in the day following the month's the 14th day, followed by the 15th day. That's Tu B'Shvat, the 15th day of Shvat, which alludes, which is also the Rosh Hashanah for the trees, we'll see, which alludes to what is written at the conclusion of our Parsha. For His hand, His Yad, His hand, which represents Yud, Yad, Yud Dal is the number 14, is on the throne of Yud K, of the 15, of Hashem, that's Hashem. So therefore, the numerical value of the name of Yudke, what does this mean? Which is the concept of refining and obliterating Amalek so that the name of Hashem is complete also in Vavke. So that Hashem swears on His name, He's swearing on His name that this is the concept to give power and the capability, and by this oath, to destroy Amalek. And once Amalek is destroyed, then not only is Hashem revealed in the higher level of Shem Havaya, which is Yud K, the first two letters, but it also revealed the Vav K, the last two letters, which is the level of 11, how it comes down into this physical world. And on the 15th of Shvat has also additional virtues. So we're talking about how wonderful the 15th of Shvat is, since it is the Rosh Hashanah for trees. We're on page 196. Regarding tithes in the land of Israel, and as emphasized in the Jewish custom to eat fruits on the 15th of Shvat, especially fruits with which the land of Israel is praised. What is that? The Pasuk says, a land of wheat and barley. These are all special fruits that we make special brachos on, and that's special that land Israel, Eretz HaKodesh, Holy Land, is known for. For it said, a land of wheat and barley, and vine, which has to do with grapes, and fig, and pomegranate, and a land of olive oil, and repeats the word land again, of olive oil and honey, which is date honey. So this is very emphasized to eat these fruits, which the ultimate perfection of this, when will we be eating the fruits that will be in a complete, most beautiful, most delicious fruits ever created in the world, with which the ultimate perfection of this will be upon entering the land in the time to come. That both regarding the fruits in simple sense, we're going to have the best fruits ever, the most delicious fruits ever created, and including and especially the fruits in the Holy Land, as well as in the Beis HaMikdash. So there is fruits in the Beis HaMikdash. So everything is going to be so beautiful and so wonderful. This is what we're going to be eating. This is in a physical sense, and also mainly regarding the concept of the fruits of Torah. If physical fruits can be wonderful, so the fruits of Torah has to be even better, which denote the aspect of pleasure in Torah. This is like the pleasure in learning, when you understand and grasp stops and you see godliness more in the world, and you see your fellow Jew more beautiful way from your learning in Torah. These are like the fruits. This is the wonderfulness things. The deeper, this is the really, really tasty stuff. The deeper dimensions of the Torah is emphasized in the date honey. Let's go back. And also mainly regarding the concept of the fruits in the Torah, which denote the aspect of pleasure, of oinik, tainik, in the Torah. The reasons of the Torah, but what is this pleasure? This is the reason of the Torah, the deeper dimensions of the Torah. This is the more inner dimensions, as emphasized especially in the date honey, which alludes to the deeper dimensions of the Torah, which its main revelation is the Torah's secrets that will be revealed by me in the time to come. So here we're talking about the greatness of the fruits of the land. Left. So I was reading. He's talking about that's looked at 128, bottom 196. Note that since the fruits in neighborhood in the second mention of land, it says land twice. It says a land of wheat and honey, a land of wheat and barley and vine and fig and pomegranate. It says a land, then it repeats, a land of olive oil and date honey. So it says that the fruits that are mentioned by the second mention of land, that they're closer to the second mention of land, are more significance than the fruits enumerated mentioned by the first land. However, mentioned further from the first land, therefore the dates honey precedes grapes. Basically, the Rebbe is pointing out here, I don't exactly in the English, but furthermore enumerate that the first mention of the land, however, mentioned further that from the first mention of the land, therefore, dates, honey precedes grapes, even though grapes are first in the enumeration of the 5 species. Since dates are mentioned in the second word of the land, and grapes are mentioned in the third word of the land. I don't know, I'd have to look inside this. I thought I'd read this as this would help us, but it's not difficult. Okay, let's go further. And all of this is exceedingly, or number 8, page 197. And all of this is exceedingly emphasized on the 10th and the 11th day of the 11th month. In our generation, especially this year. So the Rebbe is saying this whole idea of the revelation of the level of part 11 of the level of Hashem is told beyond the worlds is more emphasized in our generation. On the 11th day of the 11th month, this is when the Rebbe became Rebbe. The 10th day in the 11th month in our generation, well, it's the Yom Hilul, is the yahrzeit of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe Yosef Yitzchak, the leader of the generation, upon which all his actions, Torah and service that he completed throughout his life ascends to a higher level. Everything he goes to a much higher level, including an immeasurable high elevation, beginning with elevation of the leader of our generation. So therefore, he comes much higher, whose Elula is, and through him also is the elevation of the entire generation. The body follows the head. The Rebbe says this: we are the generation of the Frierdiker Rebbe, so therefore the body follows the head, as emphasized in the order of the days, from the 10th of Yom Hilula, from the 10th of Yom Hilula, the yahrzeit, we come to the 11th day on the 11th month. It's interesting to note, look at 132. Remember it, the Rebbe is emphasizing here how the leaven is revealed, how the level of Hashem has totally beyond the worlds is revealed into the worlds. So now we have the level of Frierdiker Rebbe. He completed his work in the world on the 10th day of the 11th month. Look at note 132, part of 197. And note that also the elevations, means they're going to higher levels of the day of the yard site. Everything's elevated through reciting Kaddish is connected to 11. How's this? Again, the Rebbe is showing how 11 has to do with going to higher levels. And this is what the Frierdiker Rebbe was experienced with this level of 11. It says that the 11 letters of the words of Yiskada v'Yiskadash, these are the beginning words of what you say by Kaddish. And this for Tzamna, okay, so where were we? I'll say back up to 197. And so therefore we come from the 10th day to the 11th month, we come to the 11th day to the 11th month. The Rebbe emphasized 11 over here. And this Ram is emphasized when the 10th of Shevat occurs on the 4th day of the week. Why is this? Why is it when the 10th of Shevat refers on a Wednesday, upon which the luminaries were suspended? The two blig luminaries, which alludes to the content of the elevation from his passing away that transpired on the 11th day of the 11th month. So let's go over this. And the phenomenon is exceedingly emphasized, we're going from the beginning, bottom 197. This phenomenon is exceedingly emphasized when the 10th of Shevat occurs on the 4th day of the week, upon which, what happened the 4th day of the week? The luminaries were nitlu, suspended. Look at page 133, note 133. In addition to nitlu with a test, meaning due to the passing away, when the Frierdiker passed away, it was taken away. In addition to the simple meaning, also there's the meaning of the additional light due to the greater elevation that transpires after and through the passing away. In other words, the nitlu with a test, that means to remove, but nitlu with a tav means to suspend, means to hang more lights, to hang brighter lights in the world. And so therefore, how is it? So therefore the Rebbe is explaining in this footnote that his passing away, he was a greater light than before. When he passed away, he reached a higher level that he could shine more and help us out more. And then the other one, of course, is the Frierdiker Rebbe. It says 133. The next one, it says that the 11th day of the 11th month is the day the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach assumes leadership. See, Emperor royal words are done. Okay. Okay, so now, the main perfection of this is accomplished on the 10th. So, hold on. So that's what we're saying. Okay, so that on the 11th day of the 11th month, that in addition to perfection of the 11 revealed in a manner characteristic of the month, the moon, the small luminary, which is the receiving, we appreciate the perfection of the level of 11 revealed in a manner characteristic by day, the sun, the big luminary. The level of 11 is pure state. Okay. So therefore we're going to reach this much higher level. And all the main perfection of this is accomplished on the 10th and the 11th of the month this year. So why? Why there's more perfection this year when the Rebbe is saying this. Why? This is the 42nd year where the Frierdiker Rebbe passed away when this occurred, that new lights were hung. It was 5710. And now when the Rebbe is talking, it's 5752, which is connected to the name of the 42 letters of Hashem, which all the aspects of the elevations are accomplished to it, that we said before for the 42 names of Hashem, letters of the name of Hashem, it has to do, all elevations come to this song, denoting that all the elevations of the 42 Yom HaElul, that Rebbe is saying that we reached a level that we finished everything up, because every year when the Frierdiker Rebbe goes up, there's a higher level of godliness that's brought down into the world becomes more refined. And then the Rebbe becomes great, everybody becomes greater. So have been completed, as well as all the elevations through our actions of service during the 42 years of leadership of the Rebbe, King Malchus Mashiach. So not only is 42 years of the Frierdiker Rebbe go to a higher level, but we've done our service down below and made the world a much more wonderful, beautiful place. In addition to the perfection as it was on the 40th year, this also, which are similar to corresponding to the 42 travels in the desert of the nations in this generation. So therefore he's comparing that when we talked about before that the Jews were 40 years in the desert, but they had 42 travels. that we talked about earlier. That in the deaths of the nations, this generation, last generation of exile, and the first generation of redemption, the Rebbe is the only one who ever said this type of stuff. And literally, immediately, we enter into the good and bountiful land in true and complete redemption, which then there will be the ultimate perfection, the revelation of the level of 11 within 11. You are one.
We got 24 minutes.
Huh?
25.
Did you cut? Okay, I think we're going to finish this off. I got another 10 minutes. Let's see if we can finish this off. Yeah, 10 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. Okay. We're on number 19.199. It's late. Okay. Among the lessons from the above spoken regarding the action, the effort should be placed in addition, moreover, completing all aspects of service which are related to the Yom HaElulah. What is that? Namely, we should study the Torah from the Frierdiker Rebbe. His Torah insights that the manner of 10 who sit and study Torah should be in a way that as a way of holiday and redemption. And following in his footsteps of spreading of the Torah, not only learning, we should spread the Torah, the wellsprings of Chasidus outward, Dumasoim, including, that's what we're doing right now. This whole lesson is to bring the essence of godliness, the essence of the Rebbe, the essence of everything to all of us. By me being able to, the merit to have to learn this and give it over, is I probably get more than anybody else, because I really start feeling and seeing it sometimes, in my daily life. My eyes, it really opens up my eyes, so I thank everybody. And following in his footsteps of spreading the Torah and the wellsprings of outward, including especially continuing for bringing us Hasidic gatherings on the day of the Yom HaElulah with joy and song, as the instruction and the empowerment of the Shabbos upon which Yom HaElulah reaches the perfection of Shabbos Shira. So therefore, the Rebbe says we should continue in joy and song, as it was instructed that this Shabbos, which is the idea we learned from the Shabbos when the Rebbe is talking about Shabbos Shira, that everything should be with song. Additionally, and also important, an instruction regarding the song in connection with the service of prayer. So in general, the service of prayer is an elevation for below up. But the Rebbe is going to say we're going to have a new song that we should be singing and coming close to Hashem, but the main thing, we should be included in the light of Hashem, not just coming close. We'll see it inside. And additionally, also important is an instruction regarding the song in connection to the service of prayer. Also referring to Rina. Rina is known as song and prayer, which is done with singing. As known that the Alter Rebbe would pray out loud with a song, with a niggin. He would sing when he was praying. He was full of joy that he would sing out. That in addition to prayer with a song in ascending from below up, which we remember that we talked about, that all ascents going up comes from song, there must be now, the Rebbe says right now we must have, this is special for our generation, special for us, after the completion of all the ascents, which we've already done, we've made the world ready for Mashiach, we've done our work, there's prayer with a song as a result of, there should be a prayer with a song as a result of uniting and becoming one with the revelation of above, that we should be in total ecstasy, we can be prayer that we're so happy and joyous we're becoming one with Hashem, as a preparation, the beginning of the new song of the time to come. So we have to do this with the prayer of that we should be so excited how we're becoming one with Hashem. This is preparation of the final song. And especially regarding the prayer for the true and complete redemption, and especially after the kitzim that have all ended. In other words, especially that the prayer that we pray for the Abish to bring the redemption, and it says kol kitzim, that everything's been finished. It talks about many times that we finished everything to bring Mashiach, and all aspects of the service necessary to be done in the time of exile have been completed. As the words of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, leader of the generation, that in addition to the feeling of the yearning for the redemption, as we had until the present time, now there must be also mainly the feeling of joy. We must be so joyous and happy because the redemption actually coming literally this moment. Now we have to be so excited that everything is happening right now. Okay, and we're number 10, page 201. And it is appropriate to also arouse regarding arranging for bringings in every place, also on the 15th of Shevat. The Rosh Hashanah for the trees is related to the Jewish people as written. The man the Jewish people are called man. It's called so since they are Adama Le'elyon, that we are like the Most High. It's likened to the tree of the field, that the Jews also liken the man is likened to the tree of the field, especially the renowned trees, not only any tree, but the renowned trees, the special trees of the land that belongs to it and is named after the Jewish people. These, like we talked about, the olive tree and the other trees that we have, and about whom it is written that you should be to me a desirable land. It talks about the Jews, that we are Hashem's desirable land. And each and every Jew, men, women, and children, has in themselves and all the particular aspects of the renowned protest. In other words, we have all these levels in ourselves, which the Rebbe explained in later Sikha what this means, how each level is a certain level of service to Hashem. It says it's a land of wheat and barley and vine and fig and pomegranate, and a land of olive oil and date honey. As explained in many places, the details of this. And on the Rosh Hashanah, then we're going on the Rosh Hashanah for trees, there must be an innovation addition, something brand new in all aspects of service by each and every Jew and every person on their level. In other words, that there's these new revelations of godliness in the world, which gives us more power that we can do new stuff. So since Hashem is giving us more special power, so therefore we have to use this innovative power that's given to us to do new things and to do our service, whatever level, in a no special way. And certainly the Farbrengen, we're at page of 202, and certainly the Farbrengens of the Rosh Hashanah for the trees will be utilized in order to explain and arouse regarding the additional and innovation in the above mentioned aspects of service. That's how we're supposed to do this in a new way, including and especially to arouse the yearning, not only the yearning, but the Rebbe says, moreover, the feeling of joy due to the knowing that immediately we will enter the land of Israel, to eat of its fruits, and to be satiated from its good, and to fulfill all the mitzvahs that pertain to the land of Israel, at the height of perfection, the mitzvahs as you truly desire. In other words, the Rebbe is giving his prayers that we should be happy because everything's going our way. So it's wonderful. And then 11. Most importantly, it may be the will of Hashem that even before the 15th of Shevat, that there should be the completion of the flourishing of the man who flourished. Who's the man who flourished? We should have Mashiach, the Rebbe Melch Mashiach should be flourishing, about who is written, and a Shevat, a staff, namely a king who governs and rules, shall arise from the Jewish people. The Rebbe did this. And a sapling will shoot forth from the trunk of Yishai, and a spout will be flourished from his roots. It goes that the Melch Mashiach comes from Beis David. A king will arise from the house of David, appointing a king, and he will fight the words of Hashem with Amalek. And he will build the sanctuary in its place, building the base of Mikdash. And simply, and that literally immediately, coming from the 11th day of the 11th month of the 42nd year, all the Jewish people, our young and our old, and our sons and our daughters, leave the desert of the nations and ascend to the Holy Land, the holy city of Jerusalem, and the third base of Mikdash, for Hashem will once again stretch forth his hand and gather the dispersed people, and he will thank you with a new song, in a matter that our mouths will be filled with laughter. These are all passages that the Rebbe is quoting from different parts of the Torah. As alluded to, as it hinted to, the two names of the leader of a generation, the Mashiach later generation, talking about the Frierdiker Rebbe, previous Rebbe. And in the wording in the verses, the song of the sea, bring him, this is the word, bring him and plant him in the mountain of your inheritance, the sanctuary which your hands, O Hashem, has established. Hashem shall reign forever and ever. And in the continuation to this, the Torah portion, the giving of the Torah, and in continuation of this, in the Torah portion, the giving of the Torah, Hashem spoke of these words, saying, the ultimate perfection of the giving of Torah, 11 days from Chorev, which revealed in the Torah secrets that will be revealed by me. In other words, the ultimate thing that Hashem is going to bring the base of Mikdash is going to reveal this level of 11 that is hidden by Hashem. So I gesund everybody. Tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we start on the 15th day of Shevat. You should have a wonderful day. And as always, hope to be teaching this or learning this, whatever. Hope to be with the Rebbe in this and not having to give another share on this. So we should be learning it and seeing it with our own eyes in third base of Mikdash right away, immediately. Sei gesund.